is a podcast for everyone. Time to chat and have some fun. Shawk Talk, Shawk Talk. Shawk Talk, Shawk Talk, Shawk Talk. Shawk Talk.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Happy Tuesday, right?
Happy
Tuesday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday for all of you Aussies out there, or happy whatever day it might be in your part of the world. It might be Friday for some of you guys. Like, I get confused, and I don't know what days it is. So it's very possible that I'm saying the wrong day. So just keep that in mind, everybody. Whatever day it is for you, happy whatever day it is for you, because some of you may not be listening to this on a Tuesday either. We are back for our third official episode of Shawk Talk, guys. If you guys are unfamiliar with this podcast, we talk about 5 general topics, those being sports, gaming, music, movie/TV, what we call cinema, and then food/drink. And then the details of each of those topics obviously changes from week to week based on our guest. Speaking of which, I would like to welcome in our first international guest to Shawk Talk, guys. We have got Aussie Mike in today for our third episode. Welcome in, Aussie Mike. How's it going, man?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you for having me. I have listened back to the last 2 episodes, and I do have some strong words for Sweens and Dunk, basically misrepresenting Australia. So I'll find them. I'll find them.
So it's going to be a fiery episode, is what I'm hearing. Very fiery episode.
Yeah.
That's always a good thing. Always a good thing. So with that being said, guys, we're going to get things rolling real quick here. Aussie Mike, before we do, is there just any final things that you would like to let people know about yourself? Obviously, you are from Australia. Any other details? I see some Star Wars stuff in the background there. What are some of the things that you enjoy doing? And what is your specialty of skill, if you will?
Obviously play Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes like you used to.
R.I.P.
And yeah. Yeah. A lot of people, right, like have given up, so you're not alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we do miss you. I miss
Aw.
Saturday mornings, basically watching you while cooking dinner. Yes, cooking dinner in the morning and still watching you when dinner is ready, right? So they were good times. But so I also do a podcast, one of the co-hosts of a podcast for Galaxy of Heroes called The Huts Hangout, and that's basically sort of my Star Wars involvement. And I'm sort of like honorarily the expert on the Wiggles, apparently. Somehow I've gotten that title, which
we'll be getting into that
I don't know
later.
whether we spoil it, but it'll probably be mentioned as
Foreshadowing.
This episode, I think.
We'll call it foreshadowing, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing. So you're a Star Wars nerd, someone that likes to cook a lot and loves the Wiggles. That about
I
sum
don't know
it up?
about loves the Wiggles, but I'm of the age where I was sort of like indoctrinated to the Wiggles cult. Let's say.
That's what I hear.
I'm that age, so and my kids now are watching the newer version of the Wiggles. So I've got like round 2 coming now. So
Nice, man. Well, like I said, it is awesome to have you in here. Looking forward to talking about some really, really fun topics here this evening / whatever, again, day or time it is for you guys out there.
Midday.
Right. Yes, yeah. All right, we're going to get things started, guys, with our first topic. Our first topic, we always tend to go in the same order here. Our first topic is about sports. We like to call it the
Spread on Sports.
So you'll understand why it's called the Spread on Sports here momentarily, folks, but we're going to talk real quick about the topic itself first and then get into the actual spread. So our discussion today, because Aussie Mike is from Australia, they have this sport down there that's pretty popular called rugby. So I thought it would be fun to talk about that a little bit, especially because the NFL recently announced that they are going to have their first ever football game down in Australia. So if you're not familiar, guys, the Rams-Niners are going to be playing in Australia in 2026. We don't know the confirmed date or time yet, but we know that it is going to occur in this upcoming season. So our question today is, which sport requires more skill? Rugby or, to be clear, guys, American football, not the rest of the world's football, American
Not the
football.
round ball.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So, Mike, Aussie Mike, where do you come in at on this, first of all? What are your thoughts about that question?
Can I first say, why do you guys call it the Niners? We call it the 49ers.
That's a very good question.
Why do you drop the 4?
Well, so they are the
Or the
49ers. I mean, they are the San
Yeah.
Francisco 49ers is their full title. But
Yeah.
America's lazy, and we don't like to actually use people's real names and stuff like that. We are all about the nicknames. So we just say Niners instead of 49ers because 40 is a lot of work. Like no one wants to put in that much tongue action to try to say the word 40. That's the best explanation I got.
What a twist of things. Australia is literally like, we are so focused on abbreviating, minimizing names, like we are the ones who are calling you guys, or San Francisco, the 49ers. So
I think it's probably because of your accent. Like 40 just sounds way more fun than 40. 40? Like if I was forced to always say it in an Aussie accent, 49ers. Oh God, now I sound British too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I hope you listen back and realize that was 100% British.
I'm like the Geico Gecko. Do we really know whether he's British or Australian? We'll never know.
I have no idea what that is.
There's another podcast topic we can have. But anyway, yeah. So that's why we call it the Niners mostly, probably because of letter restrictions as well. So, but anyway, thoughts on rugby / American football, sir?
All right. So we've got like 2 rugbies basically in Australia. So we've got rugby union, which is sort of like they pile on top of each other sort of thing, which I have like I may have watched one game in my life. Then we've got rugby league, which coincidentally, actually, we had 3 games of rugby league in Las Vegas this weekend just gone. So we start our regular season by sending 4 Australian teams, so like a home and away sort of team, and then 2 English teams will come over to Vegas, and I would say 95% of the crowd is Australian and English, but maybe 5% is like they've stumbled into Las Vegas and somehow Allegiant Stadium, I think, is the Raiders.
That sounds correct, I think.
I don't know. It might be my accent, but where are the
no,
Vegas
it's
Raiders?
not it's not your accent. That's the problem. I'm just not 100% certain that it's Allegiant Stadium. I'm not super familiar.
Where
with,
are the Raiders playing?
Yeah, like the West Coast stadiums, I don't know names of as well. Even some of the East Coast ones, like the Browns Stadium, I have no idea. Paul Brown Stadium, I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's the Cincinnati Bengals actually too. So, but yeah, the stadium names I'm a little hit or miss on. So, but I never realized there were 2 different types of rugbies. So is this like I don't know if you'll understand this comparison or not, but is it kind of like the NFL versus the CFL, like the Canadian Football League, in that it's not just a different league, but the actual like rules and the way that they play are vastly different as well, or is it just 2 different leagues?
I don't know anything about the CFL, but
yeah.
My way would be like field hockey and ice hockey. Your same objective is to get into the goal, right? You've got a goalkeeper or whatever they call them, but different sort of set of rules, and the ball goes out of bounds in field hockey, but same objective that you're trying to. Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah,
so it's like
different point scoring and stuff, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So similar concept. So I played soccer. So like outdoor soccer versus indoor soccer. Same
Perfect.
concepts of gameplay, just very, very different styles because of the
Yep.
specific venue. Interesting. Okay, that's cool. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Um,
So rugby union would probably be closer. I wouldn't say similar, but closer to the NFL in the play is very sort of stop-startish, where when someone gets tackled,
hmm,
like you'll have 5 or 6 people run in and they'll try and like scrummage, I think it's called,
mhm,
over the ball,
yeah.
and they'll sort of be like a break for the rest of the team. But it doesn't stop like the NFL does.
Oh,
So
interesting.
the players don't come on and off the field every time the ball turns over or whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so that's
Yeah.
you said that's the union?
Rugby union.
Union.
Yeah.
Now, is the other
Yeah.
one a little more free play?
It's so
Okay.
looking back at like one of the games in Las Vegas,
hmm
I think the ball went out of play like 3 times the entire game. Other than that, it was like you
Just
run up
constant.
10 meters, tackle, you run back, you run up
Wow.
10 meters, tackle. Yeah.
So it's
So
more
they'll do like kilometers in a game without even thinking.
okay. I was gonna say, so it's more fluid, like a soccer game would be, compared to
Yes.
American
Yes.
football. Interesting. I had no idea that there was that big
Yeah.
of a difference between the two styles of rugby.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So
probably going
like
to affect my thoughts on this immensely. Then,
yeah, so I'm thinking by the time so we play for 80 minutes.
mhm.
So by the time you get to like the 35-minute mark, you've been running, like tackling, being physical, for 35 minutes, and you're I was gonna swear, you're rooted.
I
Yeah,
got you.
you're just like you're exhausted, and you're like when you're talking about physical skill,
hmm
it's also a mental thing. Like you need to make massive, very important decisions under fatigue.
Yeah.
And I think that's where even rugby union also has it over the NFL, where you guys like, I don't even know how long your games time wise are, but it's like a 6-hour game, the ones that I've sat and watched.
So
Yeah.
official gameplay time is 60 minutes.
Yep.
Just so it's kind of, so soccer obviously is 90 minutes, but soccer has that rolling clock. So with the NFL, American football, it's 60 minutes, and that's 60 minutes of actual action though. Like there's lots of stopping and starting in between there. So a typical game lasts about 3 hours in terms of broadcast time. Now that includes a lot of commercial breaks and things like that. If you were to go to like say a high school game though, which they don't play 60 minutes, but still, they don't have any like timeout breaks and stuff like that. It's just the halftime and then the quarter switch, and that's about it. So you don't have a lot of the extra stuff there. Even those are usually at least 2 hours in length. But nothing compared to, like you said, 6 hours. That's crazy.
I feel like I've sat down to watch. It might have been, when did the what's the one with Travis Kelce and
The
Mahomes?
Chiefs?
Yeah, when they made the Super Bowl,
Mm-hmm.
because Bones loves them, and I sat down and watched. That was my first game, and they got smacked. And he's like, "Oh, we're the best team,
Right.
and we haven't lost all season." And then I sat down to watch him get like not lose, like they got
Destroyed.
smashed.
Oh yeah, they got
Yeah.
destroyed against the Eagles. Yeah.
And I felt like that was like 6 hours of my life, like, because it started early
Super
morning
Bowl's
and went through
longer,
that
yes.
afternoon.
So the Super Bowl is
Yeah.
longer. They tend to have a little bit more commercial breaks, and also because of the
Okay.
halftime show, like it's much longer than a normal
Fair.
halftime. So Super Bowl is probably closer to 4 hours, maybe even 5. Because what we usually start at 6, I think, and a lot of times it's not done until close to midnight. So yeah, it might even push
Okay.
6 hours, but that's not gameplay time. That's all the extra nonsense.
All
that
the other
goes on.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but speaking of the Eagles and Chiefs, the Eagles are kind of a big. Here's where I'm really getting my big comparison at with this is Jordan
Okay.
Mailata, who's an
Yes.
offensive
Yes.
tackle. and played rugby and didn't know anything about football, American football at all, but got drafted because of his just pure athleticism. And he's like an all-pro left tackle now in the NFL, just purely because he was just a monster. Do you know if he was any good at rugby before coming over to the NFL?
He was too young to sort of make anything. Yeah. But like he probably would have been an all-star. Well, we don't really have all-stars, but like he would have been a big name over here.
Gotcha.
He was on that trajectory, I
Gotcha.
guess. So yeah.
So,
But like we've had the 49ers when they come over, I don't know whether it was picked that way, but the 49ers actually had Jared Hayne went over there 2015.
I was gonna say, I recognize that name.
He was one of the special teams, maybe for what's the one who takes the kickoffs and stuff? Running
the kickoff returner is what we would call it. It can be a receiver. Yeah, it can be a receiver. It can be a running back. It could be a defensive back as well. But usually we just call them a kick returner.
Yeah. So he went from being... So every year at the end of the season, they do like an award ceremony. And he was one player of the year 2 years in a row, then went to the NFL that next year. So he literally came from... Arguably, I didn't like him as a player, as a person, but like wrong team. He was a rival team, so tall poppy syndrome. We hate anybody in Australia who's successful. But yeah, so he went from like literally the top to over there to the 49ers. So that's sort of when we probably had a bit of a spike of interest in like NFL over here around that time. But we've had a few Aussies who've sort of done a bit. A lot of the punters come from AFL, which is a different sport again. But
yeah, we talk a lot here in the NFL about Aussie style of punting, so having played soccer, like I understand that a little bit, because obviously if we were to do like I played goalie for a little bit, so when I would do kicks, drop kicks, we never called them drop kicks, but still, like I didn't do it Aussie style. I mean, obviously you have to do it with a football. This was a soccer ball, but still same concept. I would never kick a football Aussie style. Like it seems so weird to me. But I understand why in NFL it works because of the backspin aspect of it. Like it totally makes sense from that. So looking at these two sports from a purely skill set vision here. So like I'll come at it from the American side. You obviously can cover the rugby side of it. So in America, skill wise, in my opinion, most of it's pure athleticism. You'll have some positions that require skill. So I would argue that a quarterback requires skill in terms of their arm accuracy, strength, all that kind of stuff. That definitely takes skill. I think to some degree your linemen require skill. So there's a lot of hand battling that goes on there. There's a lot of development of hand skills and foot skill and things like that. But outside of that, when you start to get into like the DBs, the linebackers, the running backs, so much of that is pure athleticism. Now, I mean, they can nuance their skill levels within some degrees in those positions in terms of footwork and route running and stuff like that. But most of that, in my opinion, is just straight up athleticism. You're either born with it or you're not. So in my opinion, coming from a soccer player and a swimmer in nature, I think American football has really relatively small levels of skill, personally. What are your thoughts on rugby?
I think our positions, there's quite a lot of overlap, right? So we've got a couple of playmakers that would be similar to the quarterback, which are very much the person who leads the team around, and instead of throwing, we obviously generally is a kick with those sort of players, which is very, like, they are generally the highest paid players on the team.
Yeah.
Because of that skill level, and if you've got a good one, like, it makes the team, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then we've got the athletic, what you like. Obviously, we don't have a defensive team and offensive team. It's the one. So, but a lot of our players in the middle of the field would be similar to your uh, the defensive line basically. So they're bigger
Bigger guys.
and less skill required, but like they're the engine of the team sort of thing.
Okay.
So I think it's probably a lot closer than you think.
Interesting.
I still think we have a lot of like the decision under fatigue thing is where I would sort of go, where we the skills can generally shine through, but I think it's a lot closer than what a lot of people think. And that, like, I love rugby league, but I don't think it's too far off.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
giving
Even
them
like our
you're giving them a good bit of credit for the mental side of the game. That's not something that I really considered. Just because I feel like any sport requires mental sides of things, especially a competitive. Let me rephrase that: a team-based sport in particular. If it's just racing, that's a little bit different. Because in my opinion, that's just kind of pacing yourself. So there's not really a lot of tactics involved in that beyond the pacing side of it. But when it comes to team sports, yes, there's a lot more of that. But I tend to think of all sports having the same level of mental requirement. Like soccer has it's just they're just different levels of tactics. That's all. But there's still tactics involved. I think of it more from an actual physical skill development. Like, so as a musician, like, I can have the greatest ear in the world, but if I don't have that physical repetition, so as a trombone player, for my arm to know exactly where to go, then I'm going to sound terrible. So like that, and that's what I think of when I think of skill, more so than anything else.
Yeah, right.
But interesting.
I think of, like, if you look at our highlights package of like our players, I'll send you some links later. They're pretty, like, some of our tries, so our touchdowns, where the players are like diving and like meters, so they're like horizontal to the ground, and they've got one arm, and they're getting just inside the, like, out of bounds. Like, some of that stuff is like, it's mind-blowing, the level of skill to be in the right position before they like even attempting it, and that 8 out of 10 times they'll succeed. Like, that's not something that, like, I couldn't just go out there and practice for 10 years and even get close to that sort of stuff.
I got you.
And when we see that sort of thing, it's massive, massively celebrated sort of thing. So
interesting. Sounds like we're pretty comparable, at least on this then, in terms of where our thoughts are on the skill factor. So our over under with this topic, Aussie Mike, it's not completely related, but it's more in vein with our inspiration behind this question, which is the Niners Rams game that we've got coming up in 2026. So the over under for this, and I chose this number because it's a hair under a sellout in most American football stadiums. 60.5 thousand fans at the Niners-Rams game. Do you think the Australians will go over that or under that?
I think they'll go well over it, comfortably over it.
I think I'm in agreement. Just because I know they're very different, but I think there's enough overlap between NFL football and rugby that I think that it's going to attract a good audience from Australia in particular, in my opinion.
Yeah. So for context, we had like 45,000 people travel to Las Vegas, and not just those teams that were playing, like just general supporters of the game. So I think that you would find, like, for people to travel, like Melbourne, I'm in Brisbane, so Melbourne's like 2.5, 3 hour flight. I think you would sell out the MCG at 100,000 seats.
I didn't even think about it from like Americans traveling standpoint either, because I know when the Steelers played in Ireland, like almost all of the city of Pittsburgh went because they just wanted to go experience that so badly. So I could see that being a big thing in terms of just American travel, let alone Australian turnout as well.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm with you on the
And
over, by the way.
Yeah, Melbourne is quite a popular city, like travel wise.
Mhm.
So yeah, it would depend on when the game is and stuff like that, obviously. But like it was like a Friday night or Saturday night, like it would sell out without a problem.
Yeah, I
If
can
it was
believe
like
that.
a Tuesday night or something, uh, most of us Australians, we're not very it's a work day, the next morning, so
Yep.
we don't really
Don't do well with that.
everybody. Nah, not really.
Yeah,
No.
I hear you on that one. I hear you on that one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let us know in the comments, folks. Which sport do you think requires more skill, rugby or American football? And then do you think the Niners Rams are going to be a big turnout? I think we're all pretty much going to be on the same page on that one. All right. Moving on to our second category.
Galaxy of Gaming.
So our inspiration today, we've kind of talked a little bit about ARPG type games. We've talked about classic games. So we're going to kind of continue this discussion of genres, if you will. And our statement today, so this category, for those of you that are unfamiliar with the podcast, is a reasonable or ridiculous category. And so we have a statement, and Aussie Mike and I are going to give our opinions on whether this is a reasonable or a ridiculous statement. Our statement is, racing games are more accessible than simulation games. First of all, Aussie Mike, do you have experience with either of these types of games? And if you do, which one do you prefer?
I have experience with both. So as a kid, we had the old school original PlayStation, right?
Yeah.
So that dates me. So if anybody can sort of figure out when the original PlayStation came out, you'll be able to sort of have a rough idea. Gran Turismo, the original Gran Turismo, right? And then so that was sort of my sort of racing experience. And simulation games, I this is probably an either way my answer, right? But I think I've played all of the games within the SimCity franchise. It's obviously changed to a different thing now, but I think we even actually had in primary school, so probably 10, 11-year-old, our school actually had us playing SimCity 3000, like the second or third SimCity, for a school assignment. I don't know how the hell we got that. I don't know. But I just remember the whole, like everybody in the class got, like an hour or two a day to go and sit and work on their city. Don't know what class it would have been for or what reasoning, but
I have a kind of a funny story that relates to that. So when I was in elementary school, I remember I tested for gifted in kindergarten, and I still remember to this day, I didn't get in because of one question. It was because I couldn't remember all 4 of the seasons. I missed fall. I couldn't remember fall, specifically autumn. And I knew, here's the crazy thing. Sorry, I'm going to get to why this is connected in a second. I knew it had 2 different words that it meant, like fall, and I knew one of the words meant multiple meanings, but I couldn't remember fall. I was so mad. Anyway, the one time when we were in elementary school, one of my friends that was in gifted, they were allowed to bring down like a friend. So we went down and we got down there and they were just playing video games, SimCity of all things, on a computer. And I was like, this is awesome. Like, you guys don't get to do this all the time, do you? And he was like, yeah, this is all we do at gifted class. I was like, this is stupid. Why am I here doing dumb math questions and you guys get to play video games? I was so mad. So anyway, that's my connection to where you were going with that story.
Yeah.
But
I don't know whether there was some educational benefit to it or not, but like I guess it is, because you've got sort of like you've got things happening and you've got to react to them, and it's, if you look into the games a lot, like there's a lot of sort of mental stimulation and that sort of stuff, but I don't know how. The same as with you, like how the hell that's part of a school curriculum. I don't know.
Yeah,
but yeah.
It's interesting. So you've played both. I've played both to some degree. I've definitely played more of one than the other. So speaking of dating yourself with PlayStation, so that was my first console that I ever had. And or I shouldn't say that. I did have an NES and a Super NES before that, but I didn't really play on them a lot. The PlayStation was my first like real major console that I played on a lot. And I didn't do any of the Gran Turismo games, but there was a game called Jet Moto that was so freaking fun on PlayStation that I just loved. It was a ton of fun. It's really the only racing game other than Mario Kart. I did play Mario Kart not on my own system.
That's not a
Well, I didn't have
that's
N64
not a
either.
racing game.
Yeah, but
Jeez.
it's kind of a racing game. It's just not like
Oh.
a simulation racing game. It's still you're still
God, we
racing.
could have that debate.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's absolutely a racing game.
Oh my gosh.
But other than that, I really haven't played a lot of racing games. I enjoy them; they're fun, but that's about it. Versus simulation games, so I played some different SimCities. I don't know which ones specifically. I've done Roller Coaster Tycoon before. I loved that game. And most recently, I've done some of the Jurassic Park Evolution
Oh my god.
simulation
Yeah.
games. Those are a lot of fun as well.
They're good.
So
Yep.
I definitely lean more simulation in terms of experience and enjoyment than I do racing. But that's not the question. The question is, which one is more accessible? And I think that is a key distinction here, sir.
Yeah.
Which one do you
I-
like better, first of all? And then which one do you find more accessible?
I definitely think that I would enjoy, like, I take things probably seriously, right? So when I sit down and play a game, I want to like no cheats, nothing like that, right? So I will sit like some of my current cities, like with city skylines, are like years old, like, and I've got millions of residents and stuff like that, right? So if I was to try and take the racing games to a similar level, you know, you need the driving wheel, you need the pedals, you need the gear like you
Mhm.
need the setup, you need the TVs that come around, and for that purely, I think that the simulation games are more accessible.
Interesting.
If you're wanting to play casually, I think that the racing games like Gran Turismo and that, you literally stick the disc into the PlayStation, and you go away, right? So yeah. I think, yeah. And I prefer the SimCity simulation games like Jurassic, like they've just started them, and because my youngest daughter actually loves dinosaurs at the moment, so we will sit and play that together, and yeah.
Interesting. Johnu in chat points out something very good. So I think we're both thinking simulation in terms of like so Roller Coaster Tycoon, SimCity, that kind of simulation game. But there are lots of other types of simulation games out there. So Power Wash Simulator. We did a house renovating simulator, like farming simulator. Like there are a lot of games out there that are.
Are we there yet?
Are we there yet? Yeah, that's true. That one technically
You're
is
literally
simulator
playing it at the
too.
moment.
That's a good point. I
Yeah.
didn't even think about that. Yeah. So like those,
Yeah.
I don't think of those as simulation games, but they really are. That's a very, very good point, John New in chat. Thank you for that. By the way, guys, in case anybody is listening on Spotify or any other listening podcast platform, we record these episodes live on Twitch. So if you guys would like to be involved in the live chat, make sure you check us out over on Twitch, and you can participate in the live chat as well while we are recording the podcast. For me, Aussie Mike, so I definitely prefer simulation games. I think they're much more fun, especially if we're including all of those branched out categories, if you will. But in terms of accessibility, so I kind of disagree with you on the racing aspect of it. Like, I don't need to have all the pedals and the wheel and all of that nonsense. I just need a controller and Mario Kart on my screen, and I have got myself a great accessible racing game, and I can just go at it. Like that's the prime example. Like any kid can play Mario Kart. Not any kid is going to be able to play SimCity. So for me, without a doubt, the racing games are the more accessible one than simulation games. Now,
I can see what you're saying. So if you're going to include Mario Kart as a racing game, my kids have got Paw Patrol something, but it's Mario Kart, but Paw Patrol version.
Gotcha.
And they will sit and play that at 5 and 9-year-old. If they wanted to come and play to like City Skylines, I have to be here. Like, there's no way they're going to understand that sort of stuff. So, yeah, that's fair.
Okay. Johnu in chat brings up a very good point as well. RV There Yet, which is a game we're currently playing on Friday nights, is technically both a sim and driving game. So it kind of crosses both genres. That's a very good point, Johnu.
Yeah.
All right, so Aussie Mike, final verdict on this statement. Racing games are more accessible than simulation games. Is that reasonable or ridiculous?
I'm saying ridiculous. I'm saying ridiculous.
And you guys cannot see it on screen, I am nodding my head in disapproval because it is absolutely reasonable, you guys. Racing games are absolutely more accessible than simulation games. Now, every guest that's ever been with me now knows how Ram felt whenever we would do reasonable or ridiculous on Rogue Actions. Because my vote ultimately wins because I have a sign.
We'll cut that out later.
Yeah, good luck with that. All right, guys, moving on from our gaming discussion on to
musical news 8.
So our topic for today, this is a fun one because it's something that I think is very unique that I'm not going to be able to discuss with anybody but you, to be honest with you. So the general question, yes, I could ask other people. The general question is what is better? I guess we'll say we could say better or worse, depending on your view take on this one. What is better or worse to listen on repeat for 24 hours to? Kids music or country music? So just for context, folks, I'm coming at this from a genre that people can't stand. Most people cannot stand kids music. I'm well versed with it because I teach music for a living and I sing and dance to kids music all day long. But I also hate country music. So, Aussie Mike, first of all, do you have any experience with either of these genres of music? Do you like or dislike either of these genres of music?
Oh God. Well, I've got two daughters, 5 and 9. So I would say that the kids' music, and especially like when you add in the Wiggles stuff that sort of is there as well.
The Wiggles. Who are the Wiggles? For those of us that are not familiar.
So I actually don't know when they started, but back in the 90s, the Wiggles were an Australian, let's loosely say, band.
Okay.
Boy group. I don't like.
Oh, a boy band.
I don't even know how you would describe it.
Okay.
Yeah, like they probably are, right?
Like in sync.
They were all guys back then, so who only do kids music. So you've got like Hot Potato, Fruits, let's not start that track.
How does Hot Potato go? Is it like hot potato, hot potato, like that?
No. Am I doing it?
Go for it. Can you sing it?
Hot potato, hot potato, hot potato, 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 potato. And then it's like cold spaghetti, mashed banana. And there's another one, but yeah.
Gravy turkey.
No, we don't really do turkey over here. So
no.
I don't know what there is one more, but I can never.
That could be the American.
I don't
version.
know what it is.
Gravy turkey.
Yeah. Yeah, but then they've over the years, obviously the original group has gotten older. One of them is still there from the originals, but there's actually two of them are daughters of the original cast.
Oh, that's cool.
And one is a cousin, I believe, or cousin-in-law of the original cast. So they're sort of younger kids now, and there's a couple of girls in there to sort of like one of them is actually the reason my daughter does dance. She was a ballerina and then came into the Wiggles, and it does, like, in that my daughter grew up watching her and then wanted to do dance, and 8.5 years later, she's now just like she does dance
Hmm.
18 hours a week, I think it is.
Oh wow, that's
We've
cool.
figured out. Sure, she's pretty full on. So
Yeah.
it's a big, like the Wiggles are a big thing in
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 Australia?
Australia and still are. Yeah.
So like I said, I do children's music all day long at school where I work at. But I'm not familiar with a lot of these kids music groups. So we have a curriculum that we use. So I'm only using the music from that curriculum. So I'm not using any like Wiggles material or anything like that because that's not what is in our curriculum. And you have to pay for rights and all that stuff to be able to use all this stuff.
Yeah.
So I really wasn't familiar with the kids groups until I have technically my cousin. I call her my niece at this point. But my cousin's daughter is 1.5 at this point, and they were talking about how she just loves listening to the Wiggles 24/7. Like that's all they listen to in the house. And we were over there for I think it was Thanksgiving, and it was on, and we were just like we were enamored. Like I couldn't take my eyes off of it. I was just like fascinated by it. I was like, why is this so good? Like I was just stuck listening to it and enthralled with it. But then, what I thought was really cool, HBO, maybe a month ago, came out with, I think it was HBO. It might have been Netflix. I can't remember now. I think it was HBO, though. Came out with a special on kids' music and these different groups and how kids' music has evolved so much from like Raffi of back in my day when I was a kid to what it is now, where it's this massive, massive business that you have legitimately like really good artists involved in the field. So for instance, like you mentioned, the Wiggles are what used to be a professional group. You have the lead singer from the Presidents of the United States is in kids music. He creates kids music and publishes his own stuff on kids music. The bass player that toured with Beyonce, her own bass player in her group, is a kids music producer. Like it's kind of crazy. Like when you watch this documentary, just how high quality the music is, and it makes sense. Like I listened to some of them during the documentary, and I was like, it's really good music. It is really high quality. Like the stuff that we use in our curriculum is really high quality music. It's not Baby Shark do 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 Baby Shark do do over and over and over again. Which that was a whole other topic on that too, because there's a big. It's like U2 and Vanilla Ice. It's a big copyright scandal over who owns the right to that song versus who doesn't. That was a whole fascinating thing. Anyway, if you guys have not seen that documentary, go check it out. It's really cool. I forget if it's HBO or Netflix. You'll figure it out. But I hate country music. Like for everything that I love and can appreciate about kids music, I hate country music for one primary reason. Like I don't have a problem with the 3-chord structure and how repetitive it is, because kids music is repetitive too. I don't have a problem with the lyrics and how it's all the same 5 stories over and over again. That's fine, because kids music is very repetitive in terms of lyrics as well. What I can't stand in country music is the stinking twang and how they scoop every stinking note that they sing and can't sing the right note at the right time because they're always going, well, I never knew. I can't stand it, man. I just can't do it. Hate it. Do you like country music? Sorry, I can't remember if you said yes or no on that one. I know you talked about the kids' music a lot, but I don't remember about the country.
Yeah. Like I've got a playlist that I've sort of like put together over probably the last 10 years or so, and I'll just like randomly hear a song on the radio, or like Spotify is really good for suggesting other songs to put into your playlist that are similar. So between that, I guess I've sort of built it up. But I know Keith Urban because he's an Aussie.
He's a really good musician, by the way. Like legitimate musician.
And like Lady A comes up a lot. Whoever the fuck that is, I don't know. Oh, I swore, sorry.
That's all right.
I was trying so hard.
We're far enough in the YouTube. YouTube won't catch it now. We're all right.
Yeah.
It's past the first 5 minutes.
Like, I don't know who. I think it's a proper band, but like they come up a lot. But like I don't know But if you start talking about like kids, I can tell you artists like,
Mhm.
they were on like Hot Wheels Let's Race as Fall Out Boy does the theme song. Like that's my level. Country I will listen to, but nowhere near. I wouldn't have a clue who I'm listening to. And I don't know. It's just some days I just am in that mood where I just don't want to pay attention to the music and just listen,
Yeah.
sort of thing. Yeah, yeah.
So I
It's
should
far from my normal music. Put it that way.
I got you. I
Yeah.
should clarify that I don't hate all country music. Like so I don't mind like the Zac Brown band. A lot of their stuff is pretty good. I don't mind Rascal Flatts so much.
Yes, that's from Cars.
Yes. Yeah. So like there are some
Life the
country
Highway.
groups that I'm not super opposed to. And I do like bluegrass music. More instrumental driven bluegrass music. But again, it just it boils down to the twangy singing. I just cannot do that twangy, scoopy singing. If there's a country song that does not have that in it, I'm okay with it. I can handle it. I don't love it,
Okay.
but I can appreciate it. But going back to the documentary, the quality of kids' music today is so high and so good. For me, this is a very easy decision. I'm taking kids' music 24/7 over country music any day of the week. What are you thinking, Aussie Mike? Where are you coming in on this?
Yeah, it's a landslide.
Yeah.
When you start to look at like even the movies, like some of the music from the kids' movies, so like Moana, had like Lin-Manuel Miranda from Hamilton, did a
Mhm.
lot of the songs and the writing of that. Like he's in quite a lot of the kids stuff, but then you've got like K-pop Demon Hunters recently.
Yeah.
Like some of those songs are just like amazing.
Right.
When you start to think about that as kids music,
Mhm.
like you would easily fill in 24 hours
yeah.
with good songs, not the brain rotty sort of stupid Coco Melon stuff. Like, yeah, you would easily do 24 hours with that. I don't think I would find 24 hours of country music
Interesting.
without doing harm to myself, sort of thing. Yeah, it's 100% kids music.
Yeah, I'm with you on that all the way. It's such an easy decision in my opinion. I will say again, I feel like people are gonna get so mad at me over my take on country music here. We recently went on a trip to New Orleans and then Nashville with our performing arts programs with our marching band and our chamber choir. And we went to the Grand Ole Opry and I saw I think 6 different groups perform. And I will say that of those 6, probably 4 of them I did enjoy a lot. The Rascal Flatts did not perform themselves as a group, but one of the singers, his son, did a solo performance for the first time, and his dad played along with him. It was really good. The lady after him, I forget her name, was really good. They had a bluegrass group
That
was
might
really
be Lady
good.
A then, right?
No, it wasn't Lady A. She's touring with Rascal Flatts right now. That was the whole reason they were able to do kind of the back-to-back with the two of them. They were in town for their tour. But like it was just the two at the beginning that I couldn't stand really. So like I don't hate all country. I just hate by the way, Ellie in chat, the Purple Sunflower, pointed out a good thing. I don't like 80s, 90s, early 2000s country in particular. I am more open to the other genres of it. But even then, even if we excluded those eras of country music, I would still take kids music any day of the week over country music. So let us know in chat, guys. Where do you stand on this one? Are you a team kids music? Are you team the Wiggles? Do you like the Wiggles? Or are you going with country music all day long? I'm intrigued to hear what people have to say on that one, because I feel like that's a contentious topic right there. All right, moving on.
It would have been a lot harder if you just said the Wiggles versus country music. That would have been hard.
Yes. That would have been tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if that'd be almost like saying listen to Baby Shark 24 hours compared to country music. In that case, I would take country music because at least that gives me some variety. If I had to listen to one song only or even one group only, that gets a little bit more complicated in my opinion. So All right, moving on
Yep.
to some cinema, guys. We've got
Scintillating cinema.
all right. So Aussie Mike, our topic here with this, or I guess our subtopic, I guess we'll call this, is because of a lot of recent debate over theaters in particular, is whether theaters are going to survive into the future. Because other than like the big blockbusters, a lot of movies are not doing well in theaters of late. One of those categories particularly is comedies. Think about things like 21 Jump Street, Superbad from back in the day, Happy Gilmore. Some of these, I don't want to call them raunchy comedies, but they kind of fit into that raunchy comedy genre. Not a rom-com, but even rom-coms are kind of getting hurt too at this point. They're just not doing well in theaters, and there's been a lot of talk about how they just shouldn't even be in theaters anymore. They should just go straight to a streaming service. So our topic here of discussion, Aussie Mike, is comedies should only be TV series, not movies. Do you give this a 2 thumbs up, 1 thumb up, 1 thumb down, or 2 thumbs down in terms of an idea, sir? What are your thoughts on this?
I would probably say let's go 1 thumbs up, only because I can see that with comedy can land badly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like something that you see is very funny, others might not. And I think we have very similar humor from when we've
Yes.
spent time together.
Right,
That,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So what we see funny, not everybody will see funny. So if you are spending all that money, right, on a comedy that lands really poorly with a big demographic of the community,
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of money wasted as opposed to having it on a streaming service where, like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I have watched hundreds, or maybe not hundreds of times, but say 10 times from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just get through, finish whatever series I'm watching at the moment and go, oh, well, I've got time to watch that until the next Star Wars thing comes along, right? So, but that is it's a very set sort of humor, like, so I think that there is a point to it, but I don't think it's a full on like, let's get rid of comedy in the theaters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I Superbad was a great movie, right?
Yes.
Would they be able to do it now?
They probably could.
Some of
I
those-
don't think it would do as well now as it did, though.
Yeah. Some of those jokes I don't think would land now, and
That is possible.
yeah.
Speaking
Yeah.
speaking of this, totally side topic to some degree, but you kind of brought this idea up. Have you ever seen the movie Tropic Thunder?
Yes.
So there's I always see all the time, like you said about Superbad couldn't be made today, and I think that could be. I think it wouldn't be as received as well, but a movie like Tropic Thunder, like, could that be made today? Do you think it could?
No.
I'm
Robert,
with you.
We're hinting to Robert Downey Jr., right?
Right,
Like,
exactly. Yes, that's the primary
okay.
thing. Well, there's even some other things too with you never go full complete the blank that he says.
True.
If you're not familiar, go check out the movie, guys. I'm not saying that.
Yes.
Even like that aspect of it, you couldn't do today either. Like, but
Yeah.
oh my gosh, it was so funny. And it's funny that I think from a race standpoint, and I feel comfortable talking about this because of where I work and teach and who I work with. If you ask any black person, in my opinion, they love Robert Downey Jr. and what he did in that performance. They think it's freaking hilarious. Like, so I don't think that anybody has an opinion or has a negative opinion on what he did and what it was. I do think you would get flack today on it not being a person of color that is hired for that position. Now, I understand, yes, that's the whole point. It's not supposed to be somebody that's a person of color.
Yeah.
But I don't think the humor aspect of it is as much of the problem as much as it is the behind the scenes process, the hiring process that would be the bigger problem with that.
Yeah. Well, even when you look at like the new Snow White, right? So they CGI'd a lot of the dwarfs, right?
Right.
And that was a very contentious point. Like, Peter Dinklage came out and said, "Hey, that
Right.
we would have done it if you asked us, right?"
Right.
That's not. I'm not. That's their call. I'm not going to go into whether it was the right thing or not.
Right,
But
right.
it's a whole different topic. But like, that's the level of our world is that
Mhm.
way these days. And
Yeah.
I just think that, like, Robert Downey Jr. is a big deal now. Like, he
Yes.
probably wasn't back sort of.
Yeah, he
Well, he
wasn't
would have been
he
then.
wasn't that big when he took that role on. He had been in a
Yeah.
couple things to kind of redeem his career, but he wasn't Iron Man big yet at that stage.
Yes. Yeah. So maybe he could get away with it, like being how big he is. But I
Mhm.
don't think if it was where he was then, he would never have gotten anything. I don't
Right.
think, like, from then on. Yeah.
Interesting. That was totally
Yeah.
not our topic, but I thought that was an interesting side
Yeah.
discussion there to have with that.
Yeah.
But
But that's a great example of a comedy. Like, that
Yeah.
is, you could sit down and watch that and you know that it's nothing serious. Yeah.
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 It's one of my all-time favorite comedies, by the way. I can, like, so when I download, if I go on camping trips and I'm not going to have access to internet or stuff like that, and I might have a rainy day where I'm stuck in the camper, I'll always download a couple of movies. Tropic Thunder is always one of my guarantees that I'll have, because I can just watch it as many times as I want and it never gets old. It's so good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think
Blades of Glory.
see, now I hated that
is
movie.
Oh, well, there you go. Like,
Yeah.
I thought it was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so
There you go.
it's kind of like you said, it can be really hit or miss based on the audience. So for me, Blades of Glory I hated. Talladega Nights I hated for reasons. I grew up kind of in the country, so that was too real. I was like, no, this is exactly what
Yeah.
I lived in. Like, this is crazy. But I didn't like Step Brothers either. Like, I didn't, and that's one that
Oh
most
my
people
gosh.
love. Yeah, I did not like Step
Yeah.
Brothers either. But I loved Anchorman. Anchorman is one of my all-time favorites.
Okay, I was gonna say, yeah. Do you like Will Ferrell? Because that
Yes.
is like all his good ones you've just like written off. But yeah.
Yeah,
What did you think of Anchorman 2 then?
I did not like that one as much. I didn't think it was
Yeah,
as
okay.
good.
All right.
So, old
Okay.
school I did like. Ray Rock and Chat. Old school I liked. Yeah, so I think so. But the thing is, you mentioned about being bigger duds and stuff like that. Zoolander I hated, by the way, in Chat. they're all naming all these comedies now, and yeah, it's just hit or miss, I think. But the studios, so comedies are typically fairly cheap to produce. They're not super expensive compared to like dramas and actions and things like that. But I think really the bigger dilemma here is that movie theaters cost so much money to go to now that if people are going, they want to go and they want to see the big blockbuster stuff, the stuff you can't replicate at home. Like, I can enjoy a comedy at home with no problem compared to that of a theater. Like, there's no discernible difference between the two. Versus if I were to watch, like, you know, Infinity War or Endgame, some big massive blockbuster, it's going to be better in a theater than it is at my house. No matter how good of a theater setup I have, I can't replicate that sound system and that size of a screen. So I think that plays a large part of this. And I think because of that, we've seen a shift in style of comedy. So it's gone away from the slapstick, over the top visual humor, which translated well in a theater standpoint. And now it's leaning more towards good writing, which translates better to a streaming platform. So think about like Big Bang Theory, which is a TV show.
Never heard of that one.
Really? Oh, I was gonna say. I thought you were serious for a second. I was like, "What?"
It's like only like the biggest one in the world.
Right? Yeah, that one, like Modern Family. The recent spinoff of Big Bang Theory with the kid Young Sheldon. Like those,
Sheldon, yep.
Like they're all
and
very
Georgie and Mandy.
Yeah, that's a
they've got
recent
series
one,
as
right?
well now. Yeah,
yeah. So like, but those are all very writing heavy comedies. Even Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is a little bit more on the slapstick side of things. I'm not as familiar with that as the other ones, but even that one has like good writing where they can set up long-term jokes based on caricatures of those characters and things like that.
Yes.
You can't really do that in a visually big, entertaining comedy movie. You just don't have the time to create that.
Yep.
So I think that's
Yep.
part of the reason it doesn't translate as well.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Scrubs. That's right. Scrubs just made a comeback. Ray Rock in chat. Thank you for pointing that out. That's another good one. So you said 1 thumbs up for this, correct?
Yeah, but now that because I also agree with you that so like we've got Mando and Grogu coming out
Mm-hmm.
in what 20 days or something. It's
Yeah.
pretty close now. I am going to watch that at the movies
Yep.
with a mate. It will be the first time that I've been to the movies. Well, actually, the last time I would have went to the movies was
Trying to remember the last time I went.
Mufasa with the kids. Like we went to watch Mufasa the movie with the kids. It was their first like cinema experience. But before that, it would have been like probably Infinity Wars. Like that's how long ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mine has been more recent than that. Usually I go check out a movie at least during the summers. Like I'll check out a matinee. Sometimes I'll hit one over our winter break too. I can't remember. I don't think I went to see one over the winter break because I was sick. But yeah, so it may have been like this past summer is the last time that I went to one. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go 2 thumbs up on this because I do think some comedies can translate well in a movie setting. But I do tend to agree that they're better in a TV series setting. So I think I'm going to go 1 thumb up as well with you on this one. We've been pretty in agreement on a lot of this stuff so far, other than the gaming. Music, we're on the same page. We're on the same page on sports. We're on the same page in cinema. All right, we got to spice things up a little bit, man.
Will be different.
We're going to spice things up with our final category, guys. Here we go.
Tiramisu tap room.
Leave it to tier ranking to get everybody fired up. This is my favorite of the 5 styles, we'll say. Not necessarily categories, but styles of approach that we take with this. We are going to be tier ranking cooking techniques. So for those of you not familiar with this, so Aussie Mike is a big he's a big cooking fan. He loves cooking food a lot. He always makes fun during my Friday streams that he is cooking food and he will be done preparing his 6-hour brisket or whatever before I'm even done doing my intros in my streams because I'm super slow. So because of that, we decided to keep this fairly food-centric. And this is inspired largely from a question from J-Murph. So shout out to J-Murph. If you guys have questions that you would like us to add to the podcast, feel free to go over to our Discord, guys, and check out the Discord channel and check out the Shawk Tawk podcast category. And you guys can put any questions that you would like us to address in that area. So, Aussie Mike, the way this works, let me explain this to the audience here real quick. We have 5 tiers. So we have an S tier, which is the very top. We have A tier, just below that. B tier, we have Canada, which would be a C tier. We call it Canada here. And then we have D tier. So basically D is the worst, S is the top. The rule here, typically when you do a tier ranking, you can put anything anywhere you want to, but that's too easy. That's too fun. So we're going to spice it up a little bit. You can only put one thing in a tier. So for instance, if you put charcoal in S tier, nothing else can be S tier. Okay. Now, our 5 cooking techniques include charcoal, gas, wood, smoke, and campfire. And we're going to elaborate a little bit. I sounded so Pittsburgh right there when I said campfire. Man, I totally hear it. I didn't think I had an accent, and then I said it, and I was like, oh my gosh, fire. Fire. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. We're going to elaborate on campfire when we get there, because that's a little bit of a tricky one. So starting out with charcoal here, Aussie Mike. Charcoal is pretty straightforward, right? You put it in either a grill or you put it in some kind of a contraption. You cook your food on a grill over top of the charcoal. Do you cook with charcoal very often? And if you do, where would you put this?
No, charcoal. Let's do E. I really don't like.
Completely off the rankings. Like just throw it away.
I hate the taste. Like it's. Yeah, no. It not even. Yeah, just the taste of it when you're cooking. I don't like it. Just tastes so burnt. And like we'll go through the other ones, right? Where you can put wood chips and stuff in it,
Right.
smoking, that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
I just don't like charcoal taste. I
Interesting.
just don't. Yeah.
Do you like, let me ask this, do you like the smell of charcoal?
Not really.
Huh.
No. Like, yeah, obviously we'll get to it. We've
Right.
got other options, but like it is by far like the easiest thing on this board for me to put. It's just
Interesting.
not even an option for me.
See, I don't notice a taste difference between, let's say, charcoal and gas. I don't notice a taste difference there.
Okay.
I do like the smell of charcoal. Like I have a neighbor that always cooks charcoal. He only cooks charcoal, and it smells amazing when he cooks with it. But here's my detractor. It takes a long time. Like it takes a long time to set up. It's cumbersome to carry. Like if you're going to a park for a picnic with people, or if you're going camping, it's very cumbersome to bring that stuff with you to cook with it. So there's limited taste benefits because in my opinion, there's not any taste difference.
Yep.
The smell is nice, but it takes way more work to do and way more time and effort to be able to transport than other items on this list that also have good smell. So I'm with you, man. I actually think this is the worst one. I'm putting this.
So different.
Yeah, I thought we'd be different too, but I'm putting this in D tier. Like it's in the bottom tier for me.
If I could just like, yeah, E is probably generous even. Like that's it's.
I don't know if I go that far.
Yeah.
Like if I have to cook in some capacity, I don't hate the idea of charcoaling. It's just I would prefer all of these other options over charcoal is all. Like I would rather cook something on charcoal than I would just stick it in an oven. Like I'll put it that way.
Okay.
So
All right.
like an oven obviously is not on this list because we're thinking more like barbecue and outdoor cooking. But like if I'm cooking a steak, and to be clear, I'm not searing it. If I'm just sticking a steak in the oven and letting it cook that way compared to putting it on a charcoal grill, I'd rather do a charcoal grill. So it's not totally bottom in my book compared to some options. Okay. So, but it is D tier for me. Yep. Okay, second category, and Chasbo get wrecked. Chasbo in chat says that charcoal is S tier. He has no idea what he's talking about. He has no cooking experience whatsoever, guys. He's a cook. Shh. Gas is next up, sir. Gas. Do you cook with gas? And where would you put it?
Gas is my barbecue's gas. So I would use it most out of this list by far. But it's Canada. It's got to be Canada. It's very quick, easy, minimal sort of like setup and that sort of stuff, but it does a job, but probably like Canada. Yeah, it just gets us by.
Interesting. Yeah. So let me ask you this. So kind of a different question compared to this. Cooking with, so at home, for instance, like on a stove, gas or electric?
We have induction, so electric.
Which is electric. Yeah. So that's electric. Yeah. I have gas. Yeah. I still prefer gas.
Okay.
Over electric. Okay. I know that now with the new advancements in electric cooking, a lot of people think induction is better. Like induction, people argue that it's better. I'd still take gas though any day.
Yeah, I think if I had a choice, I'd probably go for gas, but it's just what we've gotten. Yeah, I just gotten used to it, I guess. So yeah.
So I will say this. So, and again, this is coming from an outdoor perspective. Again, this is supposed to be ranking outdoor cooking techniques more than indoor.
Yep.
So my grill outside is gas. Even my smoker is gas powered. Like it uses propane, which is a gas. I highly value the ease for gas. There's not really any taste benefit in my opinion. I don't notice a difference in taste versus if I were cooking on electric, let's say on a stove, but the ease from an outdoor setting makes this so effortless and so accessible, like we talked about earlier with gaming, that I think it really helps it. And that's why it's definitively better than charcoal in my opinion. Because other than that, there's really no benefit. It's just that it's really easy to use and it's really hot. So because of that, it's only C tier for me as well. Like the other options might take some more work, but it tastes better too. This is just super easy and accessible, so I'll give it Canada over charcoal. Get wrecked.
My
Jasmine.
ranking is 100% taste.
Interesting.
I see. Yeah. So my weekends would be something like what every Saturday, right? I'm doing like spaghetti bolognese, which is 6 or 7 hours, or a roast, or something like that. So the time thing is not relevant for in my thinking.
Yeah,
I'm 100% what is going to be the nicest tasting by the end of it. So
that makes sense.
That's where my head is.
There, Big Deal in chat raises a good point, and I meant to say this and I forgot. With charcoal, and we can talk about it with wood too, you can get uneven heat, and that can be a very, very big problem. With gas, you're very much guaranteed a very even heat distribution. So that is another big advantage of gas compared to some of the other things on this list, charcoal being one of them in particular. But I still would keep it Canada, in my opinion. All right, Aussie Mike, wood is our third option. So when I think of wood, I think of like a wood-fired grill. You mentioned earlier before stream like a wood-fired oven for pizza kind of a thing. So to be clear, let's establish this together. Do we want to include cooking over top of a wood campfire? So for instance, like roasting marshmallows. Do we think that qualifies under the wood category?
That's a tough one. The marshmallow, I would not have included in wood fire cooking. That's more the campfire one. But even the campfire, I'm gonna throw you a look for that one.
So I think it depends on how you define campfire in this scenario. So
see where I think of wood is like even grilling like steaks over a wood fire, or a wood fire pizza is like it's the chef's kiss when it comes to pizzas, right? So that's where my head is for like wood cooking. And
so we're thinking more of an enclosed apparatus. So like a wood grill, a wood oven. Okay, so not an open wood flame. Got it. Okay, I'm okay with that. I can agree to that as well. All right, so now that we've established,
Elliot as well as saying wood fire pizza, which thinks of wood.
Yeah, wood pellets.
Like pizza oven, I mean.
So Big Deal mentions in chat wood pellets. Wood pellets to me still qualifies under wood in this scenario. And we're not talking about a smoker because that's not just the fuel, that's also the technique that is different. When I think of wood, I'm thinking of wood as the fuel, but also a fast cooking technique. So like grills and a wood-fired oven for pizzas is very fast technique. So very fast technique approach with wood as the fuel for our approach with this. Okay. So with that being said, I'm assuming you cook with wood a good bit, Aussie Mike. And where would you put this?
Do I play with wood? Is that what you're asking?
Don't we all?
I wouldn't say I use it a lot, but I have used it a little bit. It's more the wood fire pizzas. Like we've got my wife's best friend. We'll go there and we'll have wood fire pizzas. They are the easiest. Like you've got the base, you put whatever toppings on, you put it in the wood fire oven, and it is like better than anything you could get delivered. And the kids love them, right? That's my go-to when it comes to wood fire. And I
would agree. We're very much on the same page with that. Big Deal asked a good question in chat as well with this: cornmeal or flour? So I have upgraded to cornmeal. I used to try flour. It does not work near as well as cornmeal for your pizza. So when you put your pizza, so if you're putting it on like either like a stone or a metal, I use stone at this point. I used to use metal. It rusted and stuff though. So I have a stone. When you put that on the stone, do you use cornmeal or do you use flour to keep it separated and movable? Cornmeal
Didn't
is
even
so
know
much better.
cornmeal was a thing.
Oh, it's so
Yeah,
much better,
it's
man. Yeah,
just
you got to
normal
try it.
flour.
Yeah,
All right.
it's way better. I kind of cheat with this a little bit. I do not have a wood-fired grill. I do not have a wood-fired oven. But what I will do is with my grill, I have a little wood box. And again, the technique I'm using is hot, fast cook with this. Okay, so I'm turning my grill all the way up using gas. But I'll take that wood box and I'll put it inside the grill just over top of the flames. And that creates that wood smokiness that goes along with it. So it's almost like smoking, but instead of it being low and slow, it is fast and high heat. So I kind of cheat with this a little bit. For me, I love it because you get a lot of that smoky flavor, and it's still really good at doing that fast, quick cooking that you wouldn't be able to do in a slow type setting. So for me, I'm going to go... I'm going to go B tier. Why do I feel like we're going to do the same thing? Where are you putting it at, Aussie Mike?
No. I have it as A.
Hey, oh, okay, good. We're not quite
Yeah,
the same. Okay.
like, yeah, wood fire pizzas, like when you're comparing to other pizzas, purely on that fact alone, right? That takes it to the next level. Like there is nothing, well, maybe there is something, but I have not tasted anything that will upgrade a food as much as wood-fired pizzas over Domino's or whatever, right?
Okay.
And the fact that we can make it at home and it's like chef level versus like, yeah.
That's a really good argument.
That's where, yeah. So I've got it as A.
The ease, yeah, that might come into play later with my next one, with the last one. Ease of ability could be a big one there. Okay, so we're close on that, but not quite identical. Okay.
Yeah.
Fourth category of cooking, smoking. So to be clear, this is wood with added moisture from water or some kind of a mix. If anybody's a really good smoker out there, I prefer to use juices. I think it adds a lot more nuance to it. And you can use, really the fuel here doesn't matter so much whether you're using a charcoal or a gas. I have gas, like I said, because mine is a electrostatic, I think is what it's called. It maintains the temperature on its own. I don't have to adjust the fuel levels for it. It's really cool. Okay. But the whole idea is low and slow with the true smoking technique. I do have a smoker. I have smoked a lot of things. I've done ribs. I've done brisket. I've done Cornish hens. I've done duck. I've done chicken. I've done cheese. Yeah, I've done a lot of smoking. I'm a big smoking fan. Before I give my ranking, I think you can probably tell where I'm putting this. But what's your experience with smoking there, Aussie Mike?
Smoking into that level, I am still pretty new.
Okay.
It is something I am, I've hit that age now where we all get into smoking. So,
yeah, we're old.
it's on my list of things that I'm quite actively looking into. But because I've got the gas, barbecue and that sort of stuff that I have the ability to do it. So from a personal level, me cooking it, I'm nowhere near your level, right?
Gotcha.
Eating smoked meats. Yeah. So
just like running, there's no skill involved in that. Anybody can do it. That's for you, Swedes.
Yeah.
We'll see if you listen to the full podcast.
He'll hear that back.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So taste wise, I think smoked meats are by far better than any sort of non-smoked equivalent. But I'm shocking. It's something I need to work on.
Yeah. So for me, this is easily the S tier without a question. S tier. Where are you putting it?
I've got it B.
Oh, we got to work on that. We got to get you smoking some more stuff. It is absolutely S tier.
Because of my experience. Yeah, I think because my experience and what I'm going to do with the next option is
okay. Yeah. Okay, that's
so it's sort of like where do I fit it in the list more than a reflection of it, I
Okay.
guess.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we'll discuss the fifth one before I really levy how much I disagree with you.
Yes.
Our fifth
Okay.
technique is campfire. And so the way that we've kind of defined this is any open use of campfire. So that could be wood, it could be coals, but it's an open flame of some kind being used to cook food. When I think of this, I think many different things because I've done a ton of camping, so I've cooked a lot on campfires. I think roasting marshmallows we mentioned earlier, probably the simplest, most obvious one, roasting a hot dog over the fire. But you can get into really more complex stuff. So like we've made chili before over a campfire where we use the cast iron Dutch oven and we've cooked chili. Phenomenal. We've cooked steaks on the fire. We've cooked bacon on the fire. We almost always exclusively cook our breakfasts, our eggs and things like that on a campfire as well. That smokiness is amazing from it. We've even smoked wings over a campfire. The best smoked wings I've ever had were smoked over a campfire, not in my smoker of all things. But even beyond that, you can do you can do pizzas. You can do the what are they called? The cast iron that you close down.
Yes.
Mountain pies. There we go. You can use mountain pies for pizza. You can do mountain pies with like regular pie filling, like blueberry, strawberry, et cetera, et cetera. Like there's just so many different ways. Throw in a hot potato speaking of your hot potato song, in aluminum foil on the coals. You can cook stuff directly on the coals. I've even seen people that cook steak just on the coals. They just throw it on the coals of the fire and cook it that way. I've never done it, but it seems crazy to me. But like there's just no limit to what you can do on a campfire. It just seems so cool to me. What do you think of when you think of campfire cooking?
Well, so my wife was born in New Zealand, a lot of family in that over there. And when I think of a campfire, it's called a hangi. I don't know how you spell it. My accent is horrible, right? It's a Maori traditional thing where they bury the food in the ground and have the coals above with like wet banana leaves and stuff like that. So that is some of the best meat, potatoes, corn. They put everything in there. It's like a steaming, roasting, barbecuing all together in one. And a proper one done by like someone who knows what they're doing is not me. I just go along and eat the food, right? But it is like the best I think I've ever had. And like cheap meats of food, seafoods, like, yeah, it's just, you can do anything in it. Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's where my head goes to.
That makes me also think, we mentioned this prior to stream, but another thing outside of my culture, in Hawaii, they'll cook pigs and such. They'll wrap it up in banana leaves and dig it under the ground. And so it's kind of like an oven, but they'll do the fire over top of it. So it's kind of like cooking it in an oven, but it's still cooked with a fire, like a campfire to do that. So that's a whole nother layer outside of Australia that we do here in America as well, in different parts of America, obviously, but still, it's a really cool technique. Okay, well, I think I know where you're going with this one. So for me, I was going to put this in A tier because of its versatility compared to that of wood cooking. Yeah. I will say, I didn't think of this at first, but the wood cooking is significantly less work than the campfire cooking. But like you said, I tend to lean towards taste over effort when I'm ranking these. So I'm going A tier for campfire. Sorry. Where are you putting campfire?
I've only got S left, and I'm very happy with that. Like that's
man.
We're going another holiday in 4 weeks or something back to New Zealand for a little bit. So I'm hoping we have time for a hungy. I think it's HUNGI maybe. I don't know. Like
did
hungy?
you say HUN?
Yeah.
I don't know what letters those are. Like H, U, N?
Oh, I found it. Yeah, HUNGIE.
H. H, not
H.
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 H. H.
Like I hate you.
H. Yeah. H.
Oh my
H.
gosh. Literally your accent and my accent create totally different meanings here. So like in Pittsburgh, I'm going to be turning into an accent discussion here, but in Pittsburgh, we don't say hate with a T. We say H. We hate you. Like it happens with a lot of things.
Okay, well that's how I say it.
Like, did you know? Like we slur a lot of that stuff to do Jews, like that. So you said H, like that's the letter H. But I say H and I think of the word hate. So when you say hate you, I'm like, what did I do? Why are you so mad at me?
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I see it now. Yeah.
Yeah, we would say hate you. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's bananas, man. Yeah, I was so confused. I was like, what? Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, that's a very compelling argument for Campfire being in S tier over Smoke. I'm really tempted to change that, to be honest with you. I'm gonna just for posterity's sake and argument's sakes, I'm gonna keep it where it was though. I'm gonna say Smoking is still S tier. Let us know in chat, folks, in comments, if you're listening to this after it being live, where would you rank each of these things? We've got charcoal unanimously in D, gas and wood we were a little mixed on, and then smoke and campfire we were a little bit mixed on. Intrigued to hear what all of you guys have to say on this in the comments as well. That pretty much wraps up all of our topics for tonight there, Aussie Mike. It's been a pleasure having you on, sir. For the people that are out there listening, how can they find you and how can they get more of your content, sir? Let them know, please.
Okay, so we stream once a week on Saturdays at 8 a.m. on the East Coast. Keep in mind, I'm from Australia, so it might be an hour different. I'm pretty sure it's 8 a.m. over there.
Usually it's 8 a.m. here, Eastern time.
Yeah. So I don't know how that affects the rest of the country. I'm guessing West is earlier in the morning than East.
Correct, yes.
Normally how it works. It's just like normal world math times. Anyway, so I'm one of the co-hosts. Myself and Lost Womprat currently together doing it. And you can find us on Twitch at The Huts Hangout, or the Twitch/The Huts Hangout. We also are on Spotify, all that sort of stuff.
Huts is spelled with 2 T's, correct?
Yes, like Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah. So anybody that's not a Star Wars person out there may not understand that reference.
Correct. Yeah. Sorry. Yes.
Oh,
so
okay.
Jabba the Hutt, the Huts Hangout. Yep. And that's all I do really. I hang around and annoy the shit out of you on your streams mainly. Ask when you're gonna start doing stuff, and yeah. But no, that's all I do. And Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that sort of stuff. We're all on those, and
Awesome, man. Like I said, guys, great stuff here from Aussie Mike today. Great dude. The podcast is always a ton of fun. It's a little early for me on a Saturday, but I do try to pop in when I can, and I always enjoy watching and listening to their content. Even if you are not a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes fan or player, just be aware you can still get good content from that podcast. So any of you guys that are out there and listening that are not SWGA or Star Wars Galaxy of Hero people, you should still absolutely check it out because there's some really good content there outside of that as well. Aussie Mike,
are off topic.
Yes,
we are off
yes,
topic.
just like us. We never stay on topic, guys. Aussie Mike, any final parting words for us before we say goodnight to everybody?
Are we going to get to GAC next or
never? Especially if the Inquisitors still exist. I'll tell you what. I'll say this. I'll put it here, and you can clip it and save it for all eternity. When the Inquisitors are no longer in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, I will come back and start playing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes again. There you go. Mark my word, guys. All right, man. It has been an absolute blast, an absolute pleasure having you on, guys. He is absolutely a reasonable guest here on the Shawk Talk podcast. Have a good night, everybody. If you did not catch us live, make sure you catch us out on Spotify, YouTube, or any of your other podcast listening platforms, guys. We will see you back here next Tuesday. See you, everybody.
Welcome on in and take a seat. Conversations that can't be beat. Music and movies, to name a few. Sports and drinks and tiramisu. This is a podcast for everyone. Time to chat and have some fun. Shawk Talk, Shawk Talk. Time to chat and have some fun. Shawk Talk, Shawk Talk. This is a podcast for everyone. Shawk Talk. Shawk Talk. Shawk Talk. Shawk Talk.